What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is Season 4, Week 2 of the Champions League, where some of the best players that WOTUP has to offer are going to compete against each other over the course of this season. After 1 week, we can see the teams were incredibly competitive, and I expect them to be that way throughout the rest of the season. Let's take a look at the standings before we jump into our 6 battles for this video. And in first place, we have a two-way tie between Maverick and Jesus, with Symphony of the Nights and Strawhats. We have an 8-way tie in third place, all with 1-1 records. MacRain, Turambar, ReadyPlayerWill, JB79, Ram9, MaechenX, Coppola, and SurfTaco. Scarlet Moon Empire, Fire Ferrets, Fight Club, Paranoid Androids, Rock Boys, House Shoopuf, Growing Stronk, Sword and Sorcery Mercenaries, and Britney's Spears. Holy cow, that's a mouthful, but all of those teams are currently tied for third place, so this is nuts. In a two-way tie for 9th place, we have Sandrooster with Unicorn, Gunfight 2, Electric, Boogaloo, and Numero 80 with the Blind Enthusiasts. This should be an awesome video, guys. I really am expecting some awesome fights, and let's go ahead and jump right into them. All right, guys, kicking off the Champions League Week 2 video, we have a banger coming up for you. JB79, coach of the Paranoid Androids, versus Maverick, coach of Symphony of the Nights. JB79 heading into the season, probably the favorite or one of the favorites to win the whole thing. Maverick starting off the season hot 2-0. Should be a great fight. Looks like the full axe comp coming out from Maverick and Symphony of the Nights. Ice water comp coming out from JB. Quick shout out here to the TMR usage by Grifford. This is the new Win Veritas TMR. This is an overall exceptional TMR in general, but extended value here going up against Elda, King of the Lions. This dispels and nullifies AP Auto Restore and kills 10 AP on the other side. So Elda, having AP Auto Restore in his kit, he won't get that benefit on this turn here. He's going to start walking forward. Lion's Drain will connect one time against the Halloween Lucio, so crucially breaking that physical HP barrier. However, he only has 14 AP left at this moment, so that TMR putting in work. And speaking of HP barriers, Grifford now has one online, which might get some extended value here if Elda doesn't have the AP to break it, as he does need his AoE attack to do that. So we'll see. This is also a Summer Glassy TMR use by the Cyrell here. Another smart tech getting that water resistance up, as Dispel Slam comes in for 5,300 damage. The Curry landing the Sharpshoot on Halloween Lucio is big though too. Curry is a fantastic bring by JB here to try and hit the evasive unit, guaranteed that he can land some damage, as Grifford is going to drop some damage on Elda on the other side, drop that AoE resist as well. Here we go though. Elda with only 14 AP does manage to get behind Halloween Lucio, giving him that increased hit chance, getting some AP back. Judgment Blade does get dodged as the Frost Axe lowers healing power and just deals a little bit of chip. Sharpshoot coming through from the Curry though. Definitely going to turn this fight a little bit into JB79's favor, but this is big. Shifting Smash comes out from the Grifford, and notice 42 AP on the Elda. He does not have enough AP to use his barrier break because Shifting Smash from Grifford increases AP cost rate by 50%. This is an excellent strategy coming out from Maverick. It's still going to be a hard fight to win here, as Frost Axe does do a good chunk of damage to Curry. But this setup is very, very smart. Dual Judgment coming out, 8,800 damage on the Curry. He will drop, almost kills the AXES as well. Elda with 42 AP. Spear Throw of Undoing comes out as, again, yeah, he doesn't have enough AP to break that barrier. And he can't get any AP back because these two units have the barriers online. He's not dealing any damage. Cyrell going to kill the AXES. And Elda's still sitting at 9 AP right now. Sealing Cleave comes through from the Grifford. And he's just going to go for a standard attack, I believe. He will. He now does have 30 AP, so he might be able to get something done here. And he's going to need to. He is a fantastic unit. I'm not going to count him out here. He does still have Re-Raise online, but Twisting Dissipator does a good amount of damage. Grifford going to go with the Dark Bahamut Esper Summon. Get that map effect going. However, big here. Elda with the Re-Raise no longer has AP cost rate up. That is now gone because of the Re-Raise. He also gets the CT down. Does he lap? He does not. But Grifford with only 1 AP gets a standard attack, and this is going to be down to the wire, guys. Elda with 5 AP is going to standard attack, doesn't move. Who goes next? It is Elda. He's going to lap Grifford. Can he land the kill here? He's going to have to do a ton of damage. 4,200 from the Cleansing Spear. Grifford with the Sealing Cleave in return finds the kill and finds the win for Maverick. That fight was absolutely nuts. I am so glad we started this week's video off with that fight. That was one of the better ones I've seen all season. JB79, an absolutely wizard, an absolute mad lad in the lab. He's so good. And Maverick with some excellent techs in this fight. The Summer Glassy TMR, the Wind Veritas TMR, and the Shifting Smash sub-job set up by Grifford to make sure that Elda can't get enough skills off. I can't say enough about this fight. This was so brilliantly done by both players, but especially hats off and congrats to Maverick. Absolutely well played. Fight number 2 is starting off with Sandrooster, coach of Unicorn, Gunfight 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Ram 9 of the Rock Boys. Two absolutely excellent players here, as Ram 9 going with the Water and Earth team here. Subterfuge online for the Dia here. I do wonder if it is an evasive team or if she just wants the hate down buff here, as it looks like Sandrooster forgot to turn on auto, but he does click it and get things going. Full Mace comp on his side. And this Mace comp did not win last week. But I will say I have heard that a couple of abilities were turned off, or a couple of things were just slightly off. I've faced this team in mocks. This team is a monster team, so do not count this team out here. The Ildira Limit Break coming out, getting that CT up on the party, and the Heart of Flutter TMR on the Catone. So Summer Catone using Sweetheart Ildira's TMR. I love this initial turn rotation coming out from Sandrooster here. But it looks like Mashri's out of buffs after using that Calamity Guard. And the Wind Veritas TMR tech used by Ildira, a very nice tech. However, I will say, based on the fact that the AP only went down by 5 on Ram 9, unless he has just a ton of debuff reduction, I think that TMR isn't fully leveled up. And I think that Dia just dodged Summer Catone, so it is a somewhat evasive setup, at least for Dia on Ram 9 side. So very interesting here. Ferrets going to go with Storm on the high seas. Get that limit break. Sildra just doing some damage here. I say that, honestly, not a lot of damage. I think the AoE resistance can get through the roof for Summer Catone. Also, very good slash resistance. And she had that one-hit barrier. Double arc slash chaining up here. She just took 3 slash hits in a row, basically, by water units, and is sitting at a very healthy amount of HP. This Summer Catone is doing a damn good job of tanking. It looks like Ildira just barely out of range of being able to heal her, though, and will that be enough for Summer Catone to drop here? As it looks like the entire team for Ram 9 is still sitting clumped together, going to be able to chain up still. Wave Cutter going to hit again. And as much as I said Summer Catone is tanking really well, she apparently wasn't fast enough to get an attack off as she's getting chained down like crazy. Dia should be able to finish her off here with the standard attack, and it is now a 3v2 in Ram 9's favor. So, Summer Catone did great, but unfortunately didn't do enough here as Captain's Protection goes off for the Ferris. She is pretty low on AP here, though. And Hallowed Ray doing 8,200 damage to the Dia. That is a guaranteed hit. You cannot dodge that. Ildira going to go with the height to disable. Lands the disable on Ferris. I don't think it landed on Dia. I can't really see as she's behind that stack of boxes. Excuse me, boxes. Please move out of the way so that I can see, but I don't think she is. She is not. Double arc slash comes through. That first hit of the Calamity Guard soaking up damage nicely, and honestly, the second hit not doing a lot as well. And now for Ram 9, can he keep Ferris alive until her disable is gone? Excuse me, as Hallowed Ray will take out Dia. Now down to a 2v2. And it looks like right now that Ram 9 is getting clucked at the moment as Height Base Water hits for 4k damage. Murmur, can she get some damage down? Does she go for just a heal here? She's channeling a spell from this far back. I don't expect this to be offensive. It's actually just a fast cast. Interestingly, so she gets some unit attack resist, gets some haste, and this Mashri is putting in some damn work. I will say, this is a very much a Sandrooster unit. This is one of his faves. He's used her for a long time. Height Base Water comes out, and this Ferris just really didn't get a whole lot done in this fight here. She got disabled and just absolutely getting wrecked right now as Revive comes through for the Mashri, brings the Summer Catone back. And this fight, with the Summer Catone going down early, looks like it could be good for Ram 9, and Sandrooster has taken a hold of it, has completely taken control. Ildira's going to hit him with a Height 2 Holy. I expect her to drop from this. No, not quite, actually. Murmur's just going to barely hang on. If I know Ram 9, she's probably going to use a heal TMR. I know he likes to equip Murmur with either the Unit TMR or the Mashri TMR. I take that back. Apparently not. Just going offensive. Flare coming out for 3,300 damage. Mashri should be able to clean this up. Just kidding. That's that Machery TMR that I just talked about. And they're going to try and drag this fight on just for a little bit longer, just to make sure that my voice gets nice and hoarse by the end of this video. As Murmur, she's going to start channeling another spell here. But with only 7 actions left and no HP left on Ram 9's side, that is going to be the fight, you guys. Sandrooster, starting off the season 0-2 last week, coming out with a vengeance this week, getting his first win over the Season 2 Grand Champion Ram 9. Absolutely excellent fight, and congrats to the Rooster. Third battle of the video, guys. We've got ReadyPlayerWill, coach of Fight Club, versus Coppola, coach of Sword and Sorcery Mercenaries. And it looks like Edward Elric going to go with his AP Auto Restore plus Dispel buff right out of the gate. Will worried about the map range probably, making sure to get that AP Auto Restore and Dispel right away. The Courage removal is online from Urel on the whole team, as Keenblade is there for Surges. And on Coppola's side, 2 very offensive Black Mages with Skahal and Gargus, and Kadia in the back to heal up. Should be an interesting fight here. Skahal's already channeling. I'm not sure if he was in range for Thundaga, or if he's doing his movement speed or time mage buff, something like that. It looks like it is a guard haste, so he's just trying to speed himself up. Windlash comes through from the Gargus, though, and Surges actually tanks it up pretty nicely. Edward going to walk in, get the limit break on Full Metal Rage. This should basically take Skahal down to Courage, I would imagine, as 8,300 damage comes through. Skahal receiving a massive limit break upgrade shortly, but I don't think this was up for this fight. And it looks like he's not going to get the opportunity to do this here. Leaping Assault comes through. No zombie TMR on Skahal means he is down for the count. Urel going to walk in. If she can take out Kadia, this fight just might be over right now. As Fury of the Force comes in, punches her about 100 times. Kadia might be able to heal her and Gargus up, but massively right now, Gargus is slowed. That slow from Surges is actually looking pretty huge right now, because I think Gargus would be doing a lot of damage to these stacked up units, and he's not getting the opportunity to right now. Lupine Rend does a decent amount of damage, but the auto cure from Kadia going to heal her back up nicely. Surges with 34 AP, Leaping Assault hitting again, and now both units are slowed. Man, this Surges is actually putting in work here. As Gargus is up next, what can he get done? It's another Windlash, a ton of damage onto the Edward. And with only, with AP Auto Restore back up to 22 AP, Urel started the turn with 13. Edward going to go next. Can he find a kill here? He cannot. Adamantine Pillar is not enough to kill the Gargus, and this slow is crippling. It is just devastating here, as Urel going to walk up with a Hammer Fist, not enough to take him down. I think Edward should be able to seal the deal here, at 26 AP, and that is going to be the fight. Guys, that fight seemed fairly one-sided. However, I'm going to shout out Surges very much in this fight. Gargus was slowed for almost that entire duration. We saw how much damage Gargus did. If he landed one more spell, Edward was dead. And I honestly think he probably basically one-shots Urel. He might get Urel to Courage. That Surges landing the slows was absolutely crucial for Will in that fight. But very well done by both players, but Surges was definitely the MVP there. So absolutely excellent fight. Let's check out the next one. Next battle is between 2 guildmates going up against each other. Numero 80 looking to try and get his first win on the season, and MaechenX trying to say no to that. It looks like the Blind Enthusiast versus House Shoopuf growing Stronk, as the HP Absorb buff is all over the team on MaechenX's side, alongside Barrett, who has his Courage and is ready to tank. Cecil also on the other side, so that is a very spicy team for MaechenX. And speaking of spice, we've got Rain showing alongside Resnick and Schutzelt. A team after my heart for sure is Numero 80. Keenblade coming in from the Cecil to try and get the CT up on the party. And Schutzelt is off in no man's land. He's all way far away from the fight. I think this is probably to make sure that he gets his Courage off for Numero 80. Should be interesting. There is Courage removal on the other side with Barrett. And as I say that, Howlet walking up, doing almost no damage to Rain. He's doing a very good job tanking. Has only 1,200 damage from the Barrett as well. That fire unit into 2 ice units could spell good things for numero 80 here, as Cecil's going to go with the light protection buff. Spirit debuff resistance 100. I think Rain's limit break actually does drop Spirit as the sleep lands from Dream Inducer from offensive Resnick, and good lord, that was a lot of damage coming out from Rain. Oh my god. Numero 80 coming to play this week as Revitalize is online for the Shutzelt, so he's got tons of AP for the rest of this fight. Is this straight up offensive Resnick, or is she just not need to heal right now because people are full health? I don't know, but height-based Thunder popping off, and numero 80 is in a 3v2 lead right now. Rain out here reflexing Howlet limit break, and oh my god, this looks very, very good for numero 80 at this point here. A rough start in week 1, but doing really, really well at this moment. Cecil, what does he have in store for us? He's got tons of AP. What kind of damage can he do? He's going to go for the limit break Sacred Rage. This is something that we do not see every day. You absolutely love to see the animation. Lands the stun and 3100 damage. So Rain, I don't think is low enough to catch a heal from Resnick, even if she is not offensive, which I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to gauge here. She's moving way off to the side here. Is this a Dream Inducer or is this a buff? I don't know, but this is Drain Force Shutzelt in the mix here. Doesn't matter if you have a physical barrier, Cecil, because he could just go right through it. Dream Inducer is going to take him out. And man, oh man, this is a spicy team from numero 80, but I love it. Howlet does not manage to pick up the one-hit kill on Resnick. And we're going to find out right here if she has any sort of supportive skills online. If she does, she's going to go for that limit break here. She's done no healing to this point. She's just done damage. And the fact that she's channeling a spell, I think, tells us all we need to know. I think the limit break might even be off. This is literally just straight up offensive Resnick. You'll love to see it. 3,900 damage coming in. Shutzelt might be able to finish this thing off. He's going to with a Drain Force. And numero 80 with the spice here in week 2 picks up the win over MaechenX. I don't know what exactly I expected, but it wasn't that. The Drain Force Shutzelt, offensive Resnick, and honestly, Rain did so much damage to Barrett. Very, very cool to see. Unfortunate for MaechenX, but really nice stuff coming out from Numero, getting himself in the win column. Now let's check out the next fight. Two fights left in this week, and we've got a Dark Tetra theme going on here with 2 fire units alongside the Wind unit on MacRain's side. And wouldn't you know it, it's the same thing on Jesus' side. So Scarlet Moon Empire versus the Strawhats should be interesting. Jesus started off last week 2-0. MacRain started off 1-1. Can Jesus keep pace with Maverick, or does MacRain shut him down? Let's find out. Elda Leon is going to pop that Keenblade. CT up on the party. Shells Ovis, I imagine, probably going to go for a limit break. Maybe we'll go for another buff here. We'll have to see what she goes for. And she is going to go Rite of Safe Passage. So a bunch of really good buffs here. Protect, the AP recovery on crit, critical evasion, just so many things to make your team generally more bulky. Can be very, very useful. Fairy Guard coming out as well. So interesting tech here. The Winter Raft team are getting that unit resist up on both Winter Luartha and the Elda Leonis here. And what is Shell's going to go for on turn 2? And Jesus running a team we have not seen from him yet this season. MacRain always brings the spice no matter what. So this should be a banger of a fight here. As Leonis Barrier going to pop for the Elda. He's going to get his shield online. He's going to get hate, unit attack resist, courage. Basically everything you could want in a tank. And this might be an old unit, but for our structure, for his cost, he's a damn good unit, I think. Momentum going to pop here. So this is the King Bradley TMR used on Pissarro. Plenty of reaction block rate. Winter Luartha, how much damage can she get done? It turns out an absolute shitload. Oh my god, 10,000 damage to both Pissarro and Mish. Good night, Mish. I'm sorry you do not get to play in this battle. Shells is up next. Paired Blessing going to happen. I'm not sure if she's going to have anything to do with this fight. This fight is almost over already. Elda has guaranteed hits in his kit, but apparently he cannot reach. So this means that Pissarro, on this turn, you need to get something done massive here. AP Break Lance does remove some AP, as it says in the name. Punishing Blade comes out from Zidane. An okay amount of damage, but the insult to injury is not a ton. And man, this team from MacRain is just kind of tanking it up well. Obviously, with that Protect, can reduce quite a bit of damage. Javelin Fall comes out, one-shots Zidane essentially too, that Courage keeping him online. I don't know what this Winter Luartha is eating, but I want some of it, because good lord, she is just destroying the enemy team. And Jesus may have started out 2-0, but I don't think he's going to go to 3-0. MacRain has something to say about it. Good lord, 11,000 damage coming from the Earth and Glory as well. I don't know if this team from Jesus was just really weak to pierce damage. That is probably my guess. Maybe some negative resistances even. But good lord, that damage was nuts from MacRain's side. Very impressive team comp. I think it was even a slightly under-costed team comp. I think that team is 210. But regardless, awesome fight to see. I respect the switch up from Jesus to try and bring out the Dark Tetra themed team. But man, it just didn't put in the work like his Helena team did last week. So awesome fight to see. Congratulations to MacRain for tying up that win-loss record at 2-1. And let's head into the final battle of the week, which should be a banger. Heading into the final battle of the Champions League in Week 2 here, we have none other than Turambar and the Fire Ferrets versus SurfTaco and Britney Spears. If you guys know, you know. This is a rematch of the Season 1 Grand Championship. I don't think these players have faced off against each other ever since. So Turambar is out here looking for his revenge. It is a Winter Ravies, Renan, and Valade composition from Turambar versus a double Pierce, Sosha, Jaden the Celebrated, and Alaya Rundle comp coming up from SurfTaco. Who will end up winning it? Ice Vitalization, going to give that ice attack up to the Winter Ravies. The accuracy and protect are obviously always amazing things. That 3-hit shield for Renan to try and make him tanky here. And the Keen Blade from Sosha speeding everybody up. It should be a juicy one. As Alaya Rundle is going to pop the Padfoot. I thought for a second we lost the connection, but we did not. Padfoot, Hate Down, and Haste as the attritional protection is online for Jaden the Celebrated. So running that Grimoire Keeper sub job, it looks like, as the Revitalize is here for Winter Ravi, so she should have tons of AP for the rest of this fight. And Valade, I believe, should get his second buff off on the entire party. It is going to be that Bar Blizzara, which will be really nice, because it does give ice resistance for 2 of these units on SurfTaco's side. Interesting that he wanted to run 2 ice units into Valade. I'm not entirely sure if he thought about that buff or not, but regardless, he's running it. Barrage does not hit for very much damage on either one of these units. Chaotic Discharge from Renan starts off the fight with good damage, 5,800 onto the Jaden. He has a massive physical health shield, but it doesn't do much against magic. Magilance Rain doing a little bit, also dropping Slash Tech Piercing, which will help against the Winter Ravies. And the Silencing Jump Lance from Sosha. This is a nice string of damage coming out from SurfTaco here, but not enough to pick any unit off yet. Sosha does reflex what I think is the limit break. It's Holy Knight Hijinks coming out from the Winter Ravies. So she reflexes this. That's huge, because honestly, she might have been close to dead if this lands, I think, as that limit break does a ton of damage. Lands the Frostbite onto Jaden. He gets the reaction. This gives him Hate Down, so there's a chance it might allow him to live another hit or so if they don't go for him, if they go for the backline. But it looks like Renan silenced. I didn't even realize that the silence landed on him. For some reason, I thought it was on Ravies. That silence from Sosha is now absolutely enormous, actually, as Renan is crippled over the next 3 turns here. Lifebane Lance is going to do 2,000 damage, drain some AP. Sosha's going to try and chain up on this Pierce attack here. If Alaya doesn't get to it first, Barrage going to come through and hit the backline. But Valade tanking that up nicely. I expect quite a bit of AoE resist built onto him at this moment. He's going to land a Cura on both units. And the question is, this silenced Renan, do they have enough damage to get through him? As Great Slash is going to come through, almost kills the Jaden. Vertical Jump going to land for just shy of 2,000 damage. And unfortunately, Renan, all he can do, he is forced to basically just beat people with a stick. And Jaden doing similar things. All he can do is poke people with his spear. He's out of AP. There's a lot of people out of AP. Alaya just gets a standard attack, is now back to 28, so if she gets another turn, she might be able to do something. But Ravies is in position to clean up. The Blade Bash for 11,000 onto Sosha is so much damage. Valade, can he get another heal off? I think he's going to go for a Cura on the entire party. He's going to land it. It's not a ton of healing, but it's enough. Renan gets another standard attack, is finally unsilenced. And this Frostbite is so crippling from Winter Ravies. If Jaden didn't already have AP problems alongside the Frostbite, you already know he has some. Hail of Bullets coming in. Honestly, the tanking by Turambar has been exceptional all game. Almost, I think, less than 3,000 damage on every single attack up to this point. So very well done by Turambar to tank this up, as they do clean up the Alaya. Valate's going to go for another Cura to try and top them off. Now that that healing power down is gone, heals him to full, and Turambar with a very convincing win over SurfTaco and Britney's Spears. He gets his revenge, or at least some of it, from the Season 1 Grand Championship, wins the match, and ends the week here. Huge congrats to Turambar, and GG to both of these amazing players. All right, guys, all the battles over and done with for the Champions League this week. Let's take a look at the standings, as they are incredibly tight over the first 2 weeks. We have one team all alone currently sitting in first, with Maverick, coach of Symphony of the Night, taking down 3 powerhouses to start this season, currently sitting at 3-0. An incredibly impressive start for him, as we have a 4-way tie in second place, all at a 2-1 record. 4 amazing players: Jesus, MacRain, Turambar, ReadyPlayerWill, coaches of the Strawhats, Scarlet Moon Empire, Fire Ferrets, and Fight Club, respectively. This is going to be interesting, and we have no 0-3 teams after the first 2 weeks. Everybody is between 3-0 and 1-2. So the bottom, it looks like 7 teams here, all with a 1-2 record. We have JB79 with the Paranoid Androids, Ram9 of the Rock Boys, MaechenX with House Shoopuf growing strong, Coppola, Sword and Sorcery Mercenaries, SurfTaco with Britney's Spears, Sandrooster of Unicorn Gunfight 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Numero 80 of the Blind Enthusiast. Both of those last 2 teams getting on the board this week, even though after they started out 0-2. Now starting to get things right here. So should be an interesting season. I expect this division to be competitive all season long. I really do. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it, even though Maverick started out 3-0. I could see this division being very tight all season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this battles. Look forward to next week. I do think I'm probably just going to snake the order of these videos, going Champions, Heimler, Rundal, Wazette, and then flipping it each week. I think that's my plan, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like down below if you did, and we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day.